Welcome to another Revising Reading Responses.
Hosted by Valeria Guerrero and Santiago Palazuela.
This week on Revising Reading Responses, we will discuss the following rules.
Use of commas and periods and word choice.
Where did we go wrong? Student example. Mouse is like the best book ever because it explains what happened in the story and when the World War II was going on. It tackles about Hitler and you'd be interesting to read. This novel has 163 pages, so this book talks about the Holocaust and how Hitler treated people, but what was more important is that the book tells you a realistic fiction story because it happened, but not exactly like that, so it's kind of mixed, but it tells you how the Holocaust started and ended. I like this book a lot because it is interesting, and if you read it, I might think that you are going to like it because it's a very awesome book for you to read.
What?
Mouse
Mouse is the name of a book, so it needs to be italicized. It's also the first word in the paragraph, so it needs to be capitalized. It's like the best book ever are pretty childish words to use for a summary and analysis for a recommendation of a book, so we should change that. The story and when the World War II was going on, if you take it out of the paragraph, it would still make sense. So we're deciding to take it out. It talks was wrongly spelled, so we'll fix that. Hitler needs to be capitalized because it's the name of a person. You'd needs an apostrophe. And interested in reading is pretty unnecessary word, so we're taking them out. And we need periods in this paragraph because it was two run-ons, so we put a period over here and a period over here.
Now, so it needed to be capitalized because it was the first word of the sentence and of the paragraph, so it needed to be capitalized. Then Holocaust, it needed an O, so we added an O. Hitler, and then the run-up, well, it was very run-up, so we needed to put a comma in there, as you can see. And then Hitler, well, it's the name of a person, so obviously we needed to be capitalized. Treated, it needed a T, and it had double D, so we deleted one. Then we added another comma for the run-up sentence, but not exactly like that, so it's kind of mixed. Well, we don't need it because it's unnecessary and kind of childish words, so that's why. And again, Holocaust, it needed an O, and started, it needed a T. And the period, well, obviously because it's the end of the paragraph, so you need one.
I is the beginning of the sentence, so it needs to be capitalized. It is also a personal pronoun, and since we are important, we need to have it capitalized. Because was written like the other way around, so we had to change that.
So, question,
Yeah.
did they already have I?
Interesting does not have a double R, so we had to change that. It was also very run-on, so we had to add a comma in there because and is a follow-up noun, so we had to put it in there.
Well, I then wasn't capitalized, and obviously when it's I alone, then it needs to be capitalized. And it's needed an apostrophe because it was all together, and that's not how you do it. And also, well, it wasn't necessary.
Now for the fixed paragraph. Mouse is a very good book because it explains what happened in World War II. It talks about Hitler and stuff you'd be interested in reading. This novel has 163 pages. So this book talks about the Holocaust and how Hitler treated people, but what was more important is that the book tells you a realistic fiction story because it happened, but it tells you how the Holocaust started and ended. I like this book a lot because it is interesting, and if you read it, I think that you're going to like it because it's a very good book for you to read.
Rules to keep in mind for next episode.
Use of commas and periods. Be careful in avoiding run-on sentences. That way, your ideas will be clear. Mouse is a very good book because it explains what happened in World War II, period. It talks about Hitler and stuff you'd be interested in reading, period. This novel has 163 pages.
Okay, so
This used to be a run-on sentence. Now it has periods, so it makes more sense. When you are making a summary or an analysis, be sure to avoid your run-on sentences.
Word choice. Be careful on word choice because if you are not, you may not be very understandable. Word choice makes you more sophisticated. Mouse is like the best book ever because it explains what happened in the story and when the World War II was going on. It talks about Hitler and stuff you'd be interested in reading. This novel has 163 pages. You can easily see that this is a bad word choice because it is not very understandable and it is very weird.